Hey guys, this is UC. Welcome to the weekly episode of iTradePrice, where we go over all the charts that we like to follow and trade on a weekly basis. So let us get started with Amazon. Here is Amazon. The weekly chart, you can see we had a nice bullish price action the previous week where we had this bullish piercing trend bar, but then last week we did not get much of an upside. I mean, we did remain elevated for the most part, kind of consolidated sideways, but then this 3188 region provided a good resistance here, right? We never got a close above that price level, so that was a good important price level to watch in the daily time frame for any aggressive buyers to step in. But here's a daily chart, and you can see we only managed to go above the 50 SMA, which is the green line right there. We only managed to close one day above that, and then we immediately got rejected there from the 3200 price level, and then just closed towards the low end of the week, which is around 3120 for, just kind of round number. So we are in this sort of rectangular price range. Let's see if we give up that support of 3117 or 3102. We have a little bit of gap here. So if we give up that gap, I think the next important level or the range that we can develop could be between 3100 and 3000. 3000 again being a very strong psychological support level as well. So let's see if we kind of trade in this zone here next week, or we kind of chop around here sideways. But I won't be too aggressive on the upside unless or until we start getting some moves back above the 3188 price, because we have multiple touch points there now, which mean that this is an important level for the bulls to close above, which nicely coincides with the 50 SMA as well in the daily time frame. Okay, so just look for that kind of price action to go along, or anything below 3117, which is the weekly support level from the past week, and then this gap support until 3102. So anything below that can see some sellers step in. Okay, so let's move on to Apple. Here's the weekly chart of Apple. Again, very similar to Amazon. We had this down move, and then after the bullish piercing week, which was the week prior to this last week, we did try to move up, but this whole 118, 117 sort of price range, we had top wicks there. So we got another top wick right there, which shows that this resistance over here is kind of real, and there are sellers who show up at that price level. In the daily time frame, we are at a very interesting point, because for the most part we were trading above the 50 SMA in the daily time frame. We were kind of bullish, but then right when we hit this 118 sort of time price range, we saw this little bit gap down, and then this Friday gave us an inverted hammer look. Now some people consider this again bullish because they say, hey, it wasn't a downside follow through, and the buyers held this level where they opened up the day. So, but again, it's the perspective that you put this candle in that kind of tells you where things are likely to be headed. So right now, the way I see it is we had this nice range that we developed, and then now we are sort of getting the price acceptance here. The only concern is we closed at the low end of this range, which is again below 50 SMA and not so above, I would say, the 20 SMA, which is this yellow line as well. So from that, it looks more neutral right now, if not bearish. The main level to watch for next week, which was resistance on the way up, was this 112. And then this 112 became the support right here in the previous week. So now again, this becomes sort of the pivot to look for. This was support right here. This was resistance right here. And now it acted as support all past week. So if we give up that level, we can definitely see a little bit of flush towards 110, 108 area. And then we'll see if it wants to back test this and then go back up. But that's the likely scenario on the way down. Okay, so just kind of plan for that if you are in that. But to play bullish, I would not blindly play bullish right here, right now. I would like to see some price acceptance back into this area and some closures above 115, or at least towards close to 115.4 level, just above Friday's high. And then I can see, okay, we are starting to make the leap back towards 117 and eventually 120 target, which comes from right here. Okay, so this is Apple. Moving on to Netflix. One of the better names, I would say, right now is Netflix. At least it's not extremely bearish looking, compared to other names. It is a nice, so sort of, if you just kind of do a little storytelling here, it would mean that we got this move down in the weekly time frame again, but there's a lack of bearish trend bars, right? The bearish trend bar looks something like this with a full red body, right? Where we opened up the week here and closed the week or day over there, right? There's nothing like that. We have these little bit of bottom wicks. That means that the buyers started showing up in this region right here. We got this, sort of pause, and then we got a nice upside week, but it gave up some of that move because of the general market weakness, looks like. But we have this trend line to consider now, since we have these 3 touch points there. That shows that this trend line has some significance, right? So look for that on a weekly time frame, with 530 being the recent swing high in the weekly time frame. Okay, so let's move on to the daily time frame and see if we can figure out anything. So again, it couldn't really give us a nice upside follow through after this big Thursday trend bar, bullish trend bar. So that shows that this is a little bit of a weaker price action, but it's not even below its recent swing low, which would be right here, 489. So as long as we're above 489 and we get some bullish daily closures here, I can see that we can start moving back up towards this trend line, and then eventually if we break that trend line, that would be nicely bullish. But for right now, look, and if you want to play it on the long side, look for a daily bullish close, and then you will have a better structure to trade against that. Okay, here's the NVDA chart in the weekly time frame. This was the most bullish looking chart going into last week, and it did play very nicely towards the top side here once we got above this 523 price level, which was sort of the multi-week resistance. Okay, so let's go into the daily time frame. We did see a move nicely above the previous week's high, which was right here. We got this nice bullish bars, and then when it got to 550 level, it kind of sold off, and with the general market weakness, I think some profit taking kicked in and kind of moved the price down. But still, it's not bad looking, because right after this range, we are in this sort of price range where we are getting some price acceptance. So as long as we remain above 510, 506, which was the resistance, and now should act as support along with this 20 SMA, which is the yellow line. So 510, 506, I would look to kind of get long and start long exposure. So if we get further weakness down, this 50 SMA can catch up along with this trend line support and can provide a little bit of bounce, right? So if you start buying here and this 50 SMA is coinciding, this trend line is coming up, and it comes down a little bit, and this is your eventual stop loss, right? And if you buy more here with an expectation that it will go up, that can be a good, nice, healthy return. So look for that kind of price action if it plays out like that in NVIDIA. But overall, still good looking chart, still strong. Just to, gave up a little bit of move with the general market weakness, and it is trading really nicely with AMD as well, which we traded here in the past week when I swung that stock. So it's looking pretty good so far. Okay, let's move on to Boeing. Now here's the weekly chart. You can see it's very similar to what it did back in the March time frame when it bounced hard. You can see it bounced hard right here, and then it gave this little bit of sideways move, wedge, whatever you want to call it, and then broke out. And then it's doing the similar thing since the past few months now, where it's just kind of trading slightly down to sideways price action, and for the most part it is stuck between 180 and 150 price range, right? So it's been trading between 180 right here and 150 price range for the most part. So every time it comes down towards 150, buyers step in and take it up, and every time it starts getting goes towards 175, 181 time price level, it starts seeing some rejections, just like how it did a few weeks ago. So just something to keep in mind. But from candle perspective, we got this hammer bar at the support, monthly support 144.50, and we did see a nice upside follow through this past week, which took the price all the way up to 172, and then this trend line, and kind of provided some resistance. Okay, so and if we go to the daily time frame and try to kind of see it a little bit better, one thing that pops out is the presence of these bullish trend bars, right? I mean, there are more bullish trend bars I see in the daily time frame. Oh God, why is it not letting me do that? Come on, select the tool. Okay, so you have this bullish trend bar, you have this bullish trend bar, you have this bullish trend bar, and you have minimum or actually minimal bearish price action, and like every time it opens weak, it gets bought up. So that is a good bullish sign. You don't have any big long red bars, right? So the only red bars you have in this previous week were these two, and both of them have these bottom wicks. That meant that the buyers kept on showing up on the weakness. So on Friday we opened pretty weak, but we shot back up, so that's a good sign. Anything above 168.50, 170, I can look for 172.8, and then eventually breakout of this price range to test the next level up of 181 and 177. The way it's moving right now. So it closed above the 20 SMA, closed above the 50 SMA, so that's a nice bullish sign. But if it does not break out to the upside, I can still see that it can try to make this sort of an inverse head and shoulder, where it chopped around here in the area, fell down, got back up, and then it can now kind of make its way a little bit here before it starts to make its way up and try to break out of this downtrend channel, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's a good sign. And if I move a little bit into a lower time frame, this can look, let's see, 2 hourly. So yeah, you can see again, even in 2 hourly time frame, higher lows, more bullish trend bars. So that's a good sign. The support to look for in a lower time frame again becomes 161 all the way to 159, 160 even, because we have a little bit of gap here. So if we move down, see if we hold 159. If we don't, we can see 156, and that will be a gap support, and I can try to play a bounce play from there. You know, it can give you a good few dollars up move if we see that kind of move. Okay, but right now this is the channel that it's moving in the lower time frame. Okay, all right. ROKU weekly chart, very nice looking, still bullish, nothing wrong with it. You can see very minimal bearish follow through to any red weeks, so that is always a good sign. Nothing wrong with this chart, very bullish. In the daily time frame, again, more it's dominated by these bullish trend bars and nicely holding above the 50 and the 20 SMA for the most part. Anytime it moves below 20 SMA, we don't see any big flush down. We just see price holding and just kind of hugging the 20 SMA, and it then just pops up. So right now we are a little extended from the 20 SMA, but stocks kind of act that way. So if you are going to wait for the 20 SMA to catch up before you get in, yeah, it can be good for swing trade kind of plays, but for day trades, we look for intraday entries and kind of play that way. Okay, so for right now, again, it is bullish, it is elevated, but for better risk and reward entry, I would look for a little bit of pullback, see how it holds 185, 180 price range, and you know, get some acceptance there. So that would be still bullish and will be considered good from risk and reward perspective as well. Again, you do your best to time your entry, but you always give yourself a little bit room to be wrong, so that even a position, if it goes a little bit against you, it is okay. It is still within the parameters of what you wanted the price or trade to be like. Okay, all right. So here is Tesla in the weekly time frame, nicely holding the uptrend line, so that is good. And if I draw that trend line, it's kind of like that, right? So nice bullish action overall in the weekly time frame. Any red bar you see, don't get any downside heavy follow through, so that's always a good sign that the stock is maintaining its trend, its structure, which is nice. In the daily time frame, you know, some people can argue that we are seeing this sort of move down. Let me see, like this. We're in this little ascending or whatever triangle pattern, you can say, like this one, right? Let's see if it wants to move down, eventually gets tight, and then either break out or break down, right? That's usually the play or the sort of price action that a lot of people look for. So, but right now, the way it is trading, yes, there is some downside risk for it to go all the way till 390, 382, but that can be seen as a good buying opportunity for this name, as it's holding 50 SMA nicely every time it dips. So if it dips there, 50 SMA kind of catches up, again, get in for a nice bounce play, right? That is good, and your risk and reward is good, because you can say, hey, if it starts closing back below this trend line right here and 50 SMA, I'll come out, I'll cut my loss. But if not, it starts going back up, that is a good level to be long against, as it's a good risk and reward entry. And again, you can see we have more bullish trend bars, right? And very minimal bearish price action. And even if there is, again, that's only caused by the gap down, and mostly recently we have this sort of chop sideways action where this Tesla remained range bound between 411 and about 449, so a good $40 range for the most week. We did close towards the low end of the week, but still managed to keep the price above 20 SMA. So let's see if we get a bullish bar here, a little bit hammer or something, we can target the upside. Or if we get a flush down earlier next week, we can see this 50 SMA to catch up and start nibbling some shares to see a little bit of bounce back up, right? Only if we break this trend line, I would I'd be worried and say, okay, there's some sellers in the market who think this can keep going down. But again, this level is a good ultimate target to the downside if we see it continue to get weak. Okay, so that was Tesla. Just a quick review of the charts that we presented last week. And so AVLR, I did enter my initial position in this one, as this weekly chart looks nice. It's kind of flagging, so that is always a bullish pattern for the most part, but definitely needs to get back above 138 price range, 141 eventually to sort of break out, right? But it has all the flavors of that kind of price action where you don't see much downside follow through. It held this 20 period SMA in the weekly time frame, so all good there. And in the daily time frame, you can see we are nicely above both 50 and 20. We did try to move past the channel towards the top side on Thursday, but again, Friday with the general market being down, we saw it kind of give up some of that move right there, but still very much within the bullish price action overall, where it's kind of holding this range of 130 price nicely. Okay, so that's always a good sign. So quickly, let's check out MDB as well. That is the one that I would like to enter. You can see this is the weekly chart, and the weekly chart shows you that there's this sort of a price, which has been the resistance, but we are getting some acceptance here, right? Since we closed here with the bottom wick after a nice bullish trend bar. So I'm hoping that we get some, maybe a little bit of chop here and then eventually a breakout towards the top side, right? So that's what I am looking for in this stock, MDB. Okay, now let's move to another name that I shared here. It is OKTA. Again, weekly time frame looks nice. Similar price action where we have this bullish trend bar followed by a little bit of bottom wick bullish weekly close. And in the daily time frame, it looks healthy as well. We have more bullish daily bars, trend bars even, and even the red bars, you would have this bottom wick here. That meant that the buyer saw this as an opportunity to scoop up these shares. So that's nice. 220, 221 is the level to look for any upside follow through to the past 2 days of price action. We have this, a little bit of a double top here right now, the past 2 sessions, right? Double top right here. So if we get back above that, the price target would be something like 226, as we have multiple touch points there. That can be the initial target on any up move, and then you can just kind of lighten up the load a little bit and see how the remaining shares do, and if they want to continue to the upside. OKTA, nice cloud name to consider.